Okay, so here we are. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Hope you're having a great week. This is Pete Erickson. I'm the founder of Modev. I'm the creator of Voice Summit, and we're making as much trouble as we possibly can, which is why we're bringing around amazing people like Audrey Arbeeny. She's the founder, CEO, and executive producer at Audio Brain. Hello, Audrey. How are you doing?
Hey, Pete. How are you?
You know what? I'm living the dream. It's sort of like, be careful what you wish for. And I kind of live that every day. And it just, building a conference like Voice presents all the opportunities and all the challenges that one could hope for. So here I am, we're a month out, and the stars are aligning. And I would say that, having folks like you involved is just makes it all the better.
Thank you. And it's a dream for me too, because I've been doing this for sonic branding for 25 years. So everything exploding right now is pretty crazy times.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. So what's been fun is we have met several folks on this, through this live stream process that have been involved in conversational design, NLP, and, this market for a long time, for decades. You are no exception to that. So 25 years in audio branding. What would you say the difference is today versus, even just a few short years ago in the audio branding space?
I think the difference is tremendous. And tremendous from 25 years ago.
Right.
But I'm going to talk about like the last 3 years even.
Right.
It's unbelievable the amount what technology is driving, and not just in the typical medium that you thought it would once be in. It is in everything. It's in healthcare. It started with smart home devices, and now it's in medical devices and augmented reality, and everything that's going on is exploding, and it's exploding at such a unbelievably rapid pace.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tricky part, because a lot of people have technology, a lot of people have needs, but a lot of people don't really quite understand exactly what it is. Almost like when, the internet first started, or people first started saying, oh, I have to do branding. And mostly that was handled by ad agencies, and then there were branding agencies. And so it's a little Wild West right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, a lot of new people coming into the space. But as somebody who's been in this space, and they say, well, what is audio branding? What would you tell them? What is audio branding answer?
Well, I like to use sonic branding, but sonic branding, audio branding, they mean the same thing. And it is the strategic and creative development of the sound of a brand, and leveraging that strategic sound across a multitude of touch points used consistently based on the brand attributes and personality to create an audio DNA that brings a unified communication across any of the expressions that the brand has that involves sound. So that's music, sound design, voice, vibration. All of them constitute sonic branding.
Right. Yeah. I think what's interesting is the proliferation of sonic branding. As let me just give a couple examples. We just got some new appliances in the home, right? And so the microwave and the oven make all kinds of interesting sounds based on what we're doing, right? So that's a very granular example of, oh, I heard the sound, now I know that it's preheated, or I heard a sound and now I know that my food's ready and it's waiting, or I heard a sound that is reminding me that I might have left the oven on, something like that, right?
Right. And product sonification is, I can't even begin to tell you how much product sonification we do. So we've done Whirlpool and KitchenAid appliances, and exactly what you're talking about. We've done Toshiba System 7 self-checkout for a better customer experience, so that these sounds aren't just little blips and piezo sounds anymore. They really need to communicate with the customer, with the consumer.
Right.
And they have to be crafted in a way that they don't create a cacophony or a distraction.
Right.
That they're experiential.
Yeah.
Everything needs to be very experiential now.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have many different devices with doing many different sounds. So that's where the balance comes in. You know, you want to know that dryer is finished.
Right.
And it's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
Or that your, toast is toasted lightly
Mm-hmm.
and it's ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
So building personality into these products and making an emotional connection is really important.
Mm-hmm.
Having the right voice expression on a product
Mm-hmm.
is really important, because that is what the consumer wants and that is what the devices need. So I'll give you two ends of the spectrum. I'm doing something that is probably one of the most popular kids apps in the world. But the voices that we use, I mean, years ago, you would get your voices, what have you. They're so localized. They're so specifically on brand. And we will have them proofed by professional translators 3 different levels, because the cultural nuances now have to be perfect.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And take that to something else we're doing, which is a surgical robot. A major surgical robot. Now that surgeon, his eyes are occupied. So if something is not going right with the machinery behind him, or something is not clear, he needs an auditory signal that's not just an auditory signal, but that is speaking to him, not with a voice, but in some cases with a voice. But
sure.
In this case, that he will learn intuitively that is telling him that there is something is not right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. It's interesting to see the arrival of sonic branding en masse. But I think what's almost more interesting is, for me, the awareness now of sonic brands I grew up with that I didn't realize that's what I was hearing. Duracell, copper top, famous. They're bang, bang, bang.
Or the Xbox 360.
Xbox 360, or
we did that.
Right, nice. Oh, I love it. I love it. Or the beginning of Law and Order. That chung chung.
Absolutely.
There's
absolutely.
like suddenly, all of a sudden, it's like, oh, that's sonic branding. I don't think I totally realized. You all along have been like in this space. That's what you've been doing. So,
right.
So where would you say things are going from here? Like where do you think we're going to be in a year or 2 or 3 years from now?
Oh, I think that trying to think of where I think we're going to be at a point where we're going to have the ability to create any voice we want, customized voices that can then be a part of the experience. Because to me, I think that's a bit of a struggle right now, because you have brands that have to spend $1 million or hundreds of thousands of dollars to. There's something else on my screen here. I don't know.
I just put up the agenda. I just put up the talk that you're going to. I just threw up the talk you're going to be given. Sorry.
I thought I did something. That's why I was fucking a little disjointed.
No, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain.
I think that right now, at least my customers, we have ones that spend a fortune, do their own custom voice, and that's what they use, and it costs a lot of money. And they synthesize it, and they could do whatever they want. And then you have things like Poly, you have Nuance, you have some voices like that, and then there's very little space besides just recording a human being, a custom voice. Although you do have some people coming, and I'm sure they're going to be at your event, that have technologies that they're evolving. With a short amount of recording time, they can create these type of voices.
Sure.
So I think the customization of voice is going to emerge tremendously. I think a lot of alignment of large organizations and specialty organizations is already starting to happen. Mm-hmm. So you have companies like Pandora now having, their own studio.
Yeah.
But they're bringing in people who have that sonic branding for a long time.
Right.
To kind of work with them.
Right.
So I think you're going to see kind of a lot of these convergence of companies.
Right.
Which can bring different things, who can bring voice, who can bring sound, who can bring, technology. And I think the other thing too, is that you're going to start to see the clutter sort out. It's like the dust is going to have to settle.
Yeah.
You have a lot of people saying they're doing audio branding, voice branding, and they're really kind of not. They don't have the methodology, the technology, the diligence, the process behind it to do it. So I think that's going to have to fall by the wayside just by the fact that technology is coming on so rapidly and strong that when you're doing things and you need to get things inside of products and you need to work with engineers and you need to do coding and you need to do this and you need to do that. I think that companies that are really multi-skilled, compositional, technical, global, will kind of rise to the top a bit. Right now, it's kind of a little, people don't know really how to sort out who the players are and who the industry.
I'm definitely sensing that brands are trying to figure this out as well. And here are emerging a bunch of different types of new platforms, right? So platforms for creating multimodal engagements, platforms for, write once, publish everywhere type of experiences. All that stuff is starting to happen. But I think that, I think you're right. I think that the companies that are going to be successful will be able to offer multiple services, multiple types of technologies. I do also agree that the customized voice experience is right around the corner. I know that I'm a Waze user and I like using the British female voice. I like the way she says boulevard. It makes me smile every time, right? And but I think that that's an example of we're right now, the voice assistant that's in our kitchen has a particular voice, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't think we're far off from being able to customize that experience quite a bit.
Right. And I was asked by somebody else on another podcast, and I'm like, I would like to have somebody who's really important to me. Mm-hmm. That voice, somebody that has meaning to me.
Wow, that's amazing. Right.
My father.
Right.
Who's getting older. You know what I mean?
Right.
And always, we call the voice messaging just to hear the voice.
Oh yeah.
Certain people we say.
Oh yeah.
We save people's messages because we want to remember what they sound like.
Yep.
I do anyway.
Yep.
And then I store them on my computer. Mm-hmm. But to have that be the voice.
Yeah.
I think that science is making the biggest leap in the medical and healthcare industry. I think it's gigantic. The technologies that are coming out and that are making life a lot better and bringing so much wellness to that whole industry. It's unbelievable. And we're working on some of those right now. So it's incredibly exciting because we kind of know where some of these technologies are going.
Right.
But they used to come in and they would be coming out in 5 years. They're coming in now and they're coming out a year from now.
Right.
So the speed at which people can evolve these technologies is absolutely unbelievable.
I think that says a lot about kind of where we are in this space, right? We went through the internet revolution, we went through the mobile revolution, went through the social revolution, right? And now here we are with the kind of conversational design, sonic branding revolution. This will be the fastest. It took 10 years for mobile to really evolve to the point where apps got really good. And now, we have a high expectation of the applications that we use for, various services from banking to transportation, entertainment, search, everything. voice is in the midst of that. And Audrey, we are lucky that we have you speaking about this at Voice Summit. We're also going to plan a little party there and a kickoff of our Sonic Brand Society. And you and I chatted a little bit about that.
Yes.
But we will be following up about that because we've got the Grammy Museum reserved, and it's going to be a really fun time.
Awesome.
Yeah. So for those out there that are watching this interview, if you are at all interested in understanding more about this space of conversational design, sonic branding, and just want to get your hands around it, this is the opportunity. The URL is voicesummit.ai. Tickets start very, very reasonably. I think just at $145 to access the event. But if you're a student or you need economic assistance, we also have scholarships. We want this to be the most inclusive tech conference in history, and we're on our way to achieving that goal. Audrey, fun chatting with you, and I really look forward to seeing you at the end of July.
Lots of fun chatting with you, and I'm sure we'll talk further, but this is going to be the most awesome event. This is like getting in on the ground level, and I also am really excited to be speaking there because I have a lot of experience, but I'm so excited for all of the new and emerging things that are going to be at this event. So
there's going to be there will be several announcements being made at the conference as well. We're so thrilled about that, related to sonic branding. And you can learn more about some of the projects that Audrey's been supporting. She mentioned some of the brands, but she really is one of the preeminent folks in this space. And that's clear from your background. And I think it's clear from your vision. And if you want to catch Audrey's panel, it's going to be on Thursday, July 25th from 1 to 1:45 p.m. in the featured ballroom stage, which is going to be fabulous. Audrey, thanks again. Great chat with you, and look forward to seeing you in just under a month.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.